In the previous episode of Digimon Seekers, Eiji proved his loyalty to Tartaros, the Sons of Chaos leader, by participating in the secret operation to take down Nation X state weapon Digimon Mugindramon. However, the operation was interrupted by Judge, a freelance hacker who turned out to be Eiji's best friend from childhood, Leon Alexander. The reunion of two friends was soon tainted when Tartaros asked Eiji to teach Leon a lesson for tarnishing the reputation of the Sons of Chaos. Afraid that denying to do it would blow his cover, Eiji lured Leon to the digital world, hoping to defeat him for Tartaros, but also prove he can be a just as good Digimon tamer. Things took a dark turn when Eiji's Digimon Lugamon went wild and evolved into Hell Lugarmon, prompting an intervention by the Royal Knight Omegamon. In an attempt to save Hell Lugarmon from Omegamon's all-delete attack, Leon intervened, crossing his mind link limit and ending up trapped in the digital world, while his body was found unresponsive in his apartment. Regretting everything he did and feeling powerless to rectify his mistakes, Eiji was left emotionally crushed. For full recap of everything that happened in the story so far, check out my Digimon Seekers playlist. Tartaros was once an explorer, much like those from the 15th century Europe, who set out into the unknown looking to discover new worlds. On one such expedition, he led his Sons of Chaos codecrackers to the gateway in Wall Slum that leads to the depths of the digital world, a universe no one has yet managed to get into. It was guarded by thousands of gatekeeper Digimon who denied entrance to intruders. Tartaros was hoping to use the power of his prototype Digimon Dorumon to crack the code for the gate, but the process stopped at 30%. The gate required a tripartite key, 3 prototype Digimon with different attributes. Dorumon is a data, and they had a plan how to get to Ryudemon, which was a vaccine, but they were still short of a virus. All of them must be at least at the perfect level and must all attempt to crack the gate simultaneously. In the end, they had to retreat because a Royal Knight appeared at the gate and they didn't stand a chance against one of those. It would be many more years before Tartaros would attempt to crack the gateway again. Before Eiji was even born, Shu Yulin, now a chief of the Digi-Police, attended a university for network research, investigating some mysterious AI data that had just been discovered. There were rumors that another world, different from our own, existed on the network, in which unknown AI programs were leading their own lives. It posed the question, did humans create the network, or had it always been there and we just found a way to access it? Yulin studied at the university under Professor Tomonori Ryusenji, who was an assistant at that time. Professor's initial team consisted of 3 students: Kosuke Kisakata, a programming prodigy, Yulin's close friend Sara Ryusenji, the professor's daughter, and Shu Yulin herself. Kosuke and Saya were a newlywed couple. These were the first days of research on lifeform-like programs, the digital monsters that would later be called Digimon. They were trying to find a way to raise and breed these creatures for further study. They started a company in a warehouse that they named Ryusenji Electronics. Professor launched Ryusenji Electronics with a mix of university's venture capital, various government funds and his own money. The Danorin district was still pretty much undeveloped and its office and apartment high-rise buildings were yet to be built. Professor presented his team with an experimental external storage device designed to record the actions of AI lifeforms. He called it the Digimon Dock. It was more of a hobby device rather than something for the market. Digimon are fragile creatures that perish quite easily, so the dock was designed to keep them alive longer. On the tiny screen of the Digimon dock was an egg. Professor said it is a Digitama, short for digital tamago, tamago being egg in Japanese. The dock allowed them to see a virtual representation of the egg's actual form, not just a series of numbers. With time, Professor was promoted from assistant to full-time professor, and his electronics startup attracted major investors, increasing the number of employees. The lab also had another breakthrough at that time, the first footage captured through a Digimon's eyes. This motivated Professor to experience the digital world through the eyes of Digimon, so he shifted his research to something he called the Digicore. This is how MindLink was born. Saya was the first to test it. The professor gave all 3 of his students a Digimon partner. Saya had Black Agumon, Kosuke Tentomon, and Yulin Palmon. Saya had the deepest connection with her partner, was the only one who vomited each time she came out of a mind link, and even talked to Black Agumon, and sometimes she would hear him say something back. The team wished to observe the digital world on the network. They named this the Tartaros program. In ancient Greek mythology, Tartaros was the infernal deep abyss, used as a dungeon for the wicked and the titans. The name was originally used for the deepest region of the world, but gradually came to mean the entire underworld. Researching the digital world felt like exploring the deepest unknowns for Professor's team. The night before the program launch, Yulin, Kosuke and Saya came to the empty plot of the future Dano University. They contemplated their future, talked about Digimon and their MindLink experiences. They didn't know this would be the last night they spent together. The Tartaros program went smoothly in the beginning. Black Agumon, Tentomon and Palmon cruised through the digital world, with Kosuke, Saya and Yulin MindLink to them. They were approaching the gate to the deeper digital world when something went wrong. This was still a time of primitive digivices with limited processing power, and network speeds were slow, so no one knew exactly what happened. A malicious code was executed, or something sentient intervened with the mission, and Saya and Black Agumon's signals were lost. She was the first person to go digitally missing in action. Even though it meant losing his daughter, Professor couldn't risk Kosuke and Yulin's lives as well, so he pulled them out of MindLink, so they wouldn't go after Saya to try and save her. Kosuke was inconsolable. He dropped out of university, and Yulin hasn't seen him since. She couldn't muster courage to contact him after what happened, but to this day she often thinks about him. Saya was later transported to America to a hospital that specializes in coma patients. Yulin eventually traded her lab coat for a uniform and a badge. After the incident, Ryusenji Electronics was on the verge of shutting down, but a big investor helped recover the company and rebrand it as Abedin Electronics. Years after all of this, Yulin was now back at Abedin Electronics to see Professor Ryusenji. Leon Alexander was there too, lying in bed, with sensors attached all over his body. Professor showed Yulin footage of Saya, suspended in a capsule filled with liquid. There was no progress on her health. She has been in that capsule since they took her to America. She looked the same as when she went missing. She hasn't aged a day. Yulin was there to ask Professor about Eiji because the Digipolice suspected he had something to do with Leon's DMIA. Their conversation then turned to Tartaros, who is now confirmed to be Kosuke. Finding out that Kosuke was actually Tartaros stirred a slew of complicated emotions in Yulin. Professor told her she will have to be the one to bring him down. After getting a call from Satsuki, Yulin headed back to the police station. Eiji and Lugamon were determined to save Leon and Pulsemon. The trouble was, Eiji couldn't MindLink. After all the vomiting and feeling weak, he didn't pass the vital signs check. He got a surprise visit from Tartaros in the real world at his apartment. This Tartaros was different from the feared leader of the Sons of Chaos as Eiji knew him. He was kind and friendly. He brought him food, an energy drink and some tea. After he had a shower and ate some food, Eiji felt better and the two started talking. Tartaros was not alone, his Digimon Doromon was there too. Eiji put the pieces of the puzzle together. This is the same Doromon who gave him his admission task for the Sons of Chaos, and Tartaros was the interviewer. Tartaros interviewed Eiji himself because he already knew why he wanted to join the Sons of Chaos. He knew all about Professor Ryusenji and Eiji's secret infiltration job. He let him in because if Professor believes he's good enough for such a task, he must be worthy. Also, he proved his worth and loyalty when he saved Marvin. Doromon did most of the talking in this conversation, and Eiji wondered why was this Digimon so independent like his Lugamon. Doromon also controlled a district in Wall Slum. Tartaros was known as the leader who never had a team member go DMIA. He told Eiji he knew exactly how he felt. He felt just as responsible for Leon's fate as Eiji. The two now shared the same goal, as Tartaros wanted to save anyone who goes DMIA. Someone important to him also went DMIA. Tartaros was the first person to lose someone in the digital world. He became a meticulous planner in order to avoid making the same mistake twice. He revealed his true name to Eiji, Kosuke Kisakata, and told him his story. He told him why he so desperately searched the digital world for a Black Agumon and why he would pay any sort of money as a reward. Black Agumon was the partner of his sweetheart Saya. Finding him would mean finding her. Tartaros told Eiji there is hope for those who went DMIA. He showed him a syringe containing a medical-grade stimulant. It should, in theory, peel the human consciousness away from the Digicore, granting a window for self-awareness to return. The drug was originally formulated with the goal of extending the amount of time one could safely MindLink. But there was a catch. The medicine couldn't be given to the physical body of a DMIA person in the real world. It had to be administered to their Digimon partner wherever in the digital world they may be. The creator of the formula was Professor Ryusenji. The medicine had already been tested on simulations of human data in Digimon's Digicore, but not on real DMIA patients. That would have to take place in the lawless digital world, on codecracker patients who operate outside the law. Tartaros invited Eiji to come with him to a safe house, because the Digipolice would soon be at his place to question him about Leon. There they would expand on their plan to reboot Operation Tartaros. Their target was the Gateway. They were going to codecrack their way into the depths of the digital world. Back at the police station, Satsuki reported to Yulin about large-scale codecracker activity in Wall Slum. The video feed showed Tartaros giving a speech to hundreds of codecrackers and their Digimon. He was promising his followers freedom as they marched to the gate of the deep digital world. The Digimon from the Wall Slum were also joining the uprising. Eiji and Lugamon were the culprits of that, as Lugamon had quite an influence there. The Digipolice thought that codecrackers entering the deep digital world would cause it irreparable harm and had to do everything in their power to prevent them from interfering. A formation of Cargo Dramon over the Wall Slum signified the arrival of the Digipolice. Yulin and Ryudemon were headed right into the trap set up by Tartaros. That wraps up the third chapter of Digimon Seekers. It looks like the end of this story could be as close as the next chapter, as full-on revolution is gearing up at the gates of the digital world. Will Eiji succeed in saving Leon, and will Kosuke ever see Saya again? We will soon find out. Tell me about your impressions with Digimon Seekers now that we are this far into the story. If you want to support me, you can do so on Patreon or buy me coffee, the links are in the description below. Thank you for watching, stay tuned for more Digimon videos. PS, make sure to follow my community page on YouTube, as I also post updates about upcoming videos there.